It's the first weekend of April 2019, so it's time for another monthly update video in which I'm going to talk about what we've got going on during this month and what you might have missed during the month of March. I always like to begin by highlighting three big things. Big thing number one is a leftover from last month that we didn't get to, a video premiere, how to engage in self-study of Plato. Big thing number two, we have our first meeting of the year for the Sophia chapter here in Milwaukee. Sophia is the larger national organization, Society of Philosophers in America. And big thing number three, I actually got a paper proposal accepted for a conference that's going to be here in June, the Aristotle and the Aristotelian Tradition Conference. So I'll talk a little bit about that in the April section. And yeah, that's quite an honor. It's a very selective conference. They get a lot of proposals, and mine is going through. March was a long month, which meant that in theory I should have been able to get a lot of things done, but it was also a difficult month, in part because both my wife and I were sick with a strain of the flu that really puts people out for weeks and weeks and weeks. I actually had to take some time off. My spring break at two of the places I was teaching was almost entirely consumed with being in bed or getting in just a little bit of work each day. I didn't get to exercise during pretty much the entire month. So the first really half of the month, after the first few days, it was pretty rough. And I still continued teaching. I did take a few days off from classes, but for the most part I soldiered on and went in and taught my classes, and then I'd be totally exhausted afterwards. So I didn't get as much done, and I actually had to cancel one of my face-to-face events on Mary Shelley's novels, including Frankenstein and The Last Man, which hopefully we're going to reschedule. And I also had to reschedule the Plato video premiere because I didn't get to shooting that video in March. What I did do, I managed to get in a talk on Epictetus, slavery, Stoicism, and the Roman Empire early on in the month. So that's good. That's part of the Philosophers in the Midst of History. I did also hold a 500 core concept videos online celebration. We have a video from that. I held my AMA and did my philosophy pop-up. So you can see those videos as well. And I did a talk here locally for a group of seniors about Aristotle, friendship, and romantic relationships. Lots of teaching. As I think many of you know, I'm teaching more than full-time this semester, 5 classes at 3 different institutions, which keeps me pretty busy. I also carried on some philosophical counseling work and did some consulting work. And of course, I have my tutorial students, so I had quite a full plate. And, I'm editor of Stoicism Today, and we're not only do we have the normal work for that, but I'm also working on a proposal for some edited volumes coming out of that. And there's all of the gearing up for Stoicon X's Stoic Week, which happens later in the fall, but the planning happens now. So I've been kept pretty busy with all of that. My kids also came to visit for their spring break, and when they're here in the summer, I can get some work done, but I've pretty much given up on getting any real work done other than having to go to classes while they're here for these mini vacations. We had a good time. We did some fun things, made some good dishes, and played some games together, and had a lot of great talks and that sort of thing. And my son came to my Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design class, and my daughter came to my Intro to Philosophy class, so that was kind of nice. What else? I did some video work. As you know, the Epictetus video is out there. I also shot a video or not really shot it per se, but rather put it together, of memes that people have featured my image in. And that got a good bit of traction. I'll put a link to that below. You know, the other online events, we had, you know, videos of those, which you can see. I shot some core concept videos, mostly on Descartes' meditations. I got quite a few of those done, and then ran out of steam as I got sick. I didn't get any half-hour Hegel videos done this month. I am, for those who are asking about this, I am still continuing with the project. It's just that Hegel videos are quite demanding to do for me, and when I'm sick, I don't have the presence of mind to do that. When my kids are here, I don't have the presence of mind either. So that's what went on during March. What's coming up in April? We have quite a packed schedule. On the 9th at 5 p.m., I'll be having my first online event of the month, and that is the Hegel Q&A and discussion session for the general public. Anybody can drop into that video conferencing session if they wish to. Of course, this is Central Time, so make sure that you check your time zone. On the 11th at 7 p.m., here locally at the Brookfield Public Library, I will be continuing with the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series with a talk on Lewis Carroll's Fantastic Worlds. Obviously, we're going to talk quite a bit about the Alice books, but also his biography and backstory, the fact that he was a dean of logic, and we'll be talking about his books on logic and also his interest in photography and some other topics as well. On the 13th at 12 p.m. Central Time, I will be finally getting to that video premiere on how to study Plato on your own. I'll be giving a lot of tips, a lot of important suggestions, some links to resources, and you know, I'll take questions and answers while we're doing the video premiere. So it's a chance for you to see the video for the first time. A link will be provided to that, but not right now because I haven't yet shot the video. So before you ask a question in the comment, where's the link to that? It'll be there, and then I'll post it in all my social media. So if you're following me, you'll be able to access it quite easily. On the 13th as well at 2 p.m., we will have our Patreon exclusive Hegel Q&A session. That's for the Patreon supporters of the Half Hour Hegel Project. On the 20th at 12 p.m., I will have my monthly AMA session. I've actually blocked out an hour and a half because these always tend to run over. And so if you've got questions for me, that's the time to ask them. Make sure you get your questions in early because we always have more questions at the end than can be answered. Also on the 20th, 3 p.m., another Patreon perk, philosophy chat for my Patreon supporters. That's one of the perks that they enjoy, another video conferencing session with me. Then again, locally on the 23rd at 6 p.m., Shorewood Public Library, we have the MKE, that's Milwaukee Stoic Fellowship. We are finishing up with Epictetus's discourses and discussing where we want to go next. And then finally, on the 30th, the very last day of the month at 6 p.m., we have our Sophia chapter meeting. That's our first Sophia event of the year. Sophia is the Society of Philosophers in America. It is an organization devoted to doing public philosophy. So that is going to be quite a fun event. We're going to discuss, you know, the nature of public philosophy, civil discourse, and start setting out some of the things we want to do over the course of the year. And we really want to do some building of that organization here in the Milwaukee area, in part because there's not a lot that's meeting people's needs in that way here in Milwaukee, and we want to create more opportunities for people to study and engage with and talk about philosophy with each other. I'm also still, of course, teaching my classes. My Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design and my Marquette classes are more or less winding down over this month. They go a little bit into the month of May, but for the most part, they're ending. All the real content is ending in April. The Milwaukee Area Technical College classes go well into May, so that's not going to be wrapping up, but they started late too as well. But I'm starting to work on the online classes that I'm going to be teaching this summer. For Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, I'm teaching a 6-week existentialism class. And for Marquette University, I'm teaching a 6-week business ethics class. So I'm getting all that sort of stuff ready, to roll, because as soon as the students open up the class, everything needs to be in there, including the lecture videos, any podcasts that I want to do, links, interviews, all that content. Still, doing philosophical counseling, consulting, tutorial work, lots of editorial work. This month I'm doing a lot of writing as well. A lot of it for classes, but also in Medium, some stuff in Stoicism Today, some stuff in my author blog, Orexis Dianoetike, probably be answering some Quora questions as well, and perhaps even doing some writing in other places. Videos. I'm going to be, of course, recording my event videos, both the face-to-face and online ones. I've got a lot of core concept videos I need to still shoot on Descartes' meditations. I don't think I'm going to get to Hume's inquiry, unfortunately, but because now I need to actually start shooting videos that I'm going to use in my existentialism class. So that means some more videos on Friedrich Nietzsche, some videos on Dostoevsky, mostly on the Underground Man, perhaps on some parts of Brothers Karamazov, or maybe some other things as well. And then some core concept videos also on Martin Buber, if I get to it, Rainer Maria Rilke, and some other thinkers that I need to really get cracking on. So we'll see what I'm able to generate for those. I want to get back to shooting my half-hour Hegel videos. That's a real priority for the month. Don't know whether I'll get the 6 that I used to get in before I started teaching so much in, but we'll see. I'll definitely get some done, and it won't be another month, of no videos. And I need to start shooting some book review videos as well. We'll see what I can shoot on top of that. It's going to be a pretty packed month from this point onward. It's probably going to be a video release per day just to stay on top of all of this, and that means I have to shoot, more than a video per day in order for that to happen. Since I've once again, Patreon support kind of fell, and now it's back up to the level where I'd committed to doing the Sadler's Lectures podcast. I'm going to start putting out Sadler's Lectures podcast episodes again, so you can look forward to hearing those rather than seeing those, of course. And we're going to keep on cranking away at it. Like I said, I've got a lot of projects underway. I will mention I am going down to see my kids. Both of them are in a production of Fiddler on the Roof. That happens about mid-month. But other than that, I'm staying right here in Milwaukee and just seeing these classes to their end and cranking out content and gearing up for the summer and trying to get as much work done as possible during this month. And going back to the gym, now that my kids are gone and I'm healthy, I went back. I hadn't been there for at least a month. Took me about 3 days not to be completely sore, but we're going back. Today I'll be going hopefully to the WAC and it's the Wisconsin Athletic Club and doing some exercise, and then I'll start to make it a regular thing. A 48-year-old body doesn't recover from exercise the way a 28-year-old body or 18-year-old body does, but it's very important to do. So there's my month ahead and month behind. Hope all of you have a great month, and hopefully I'll see some of you either in the face-to-face or online events.